Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Baddies USA review. This review is for the season finale of Baddies USA Chapter 1, so let's just get right into it. So the baddies are at their final rehearsal because they have one last performance that they have to do, and everything was going fine until Tommie showed up. And everybody was really alert and on 10 when Tommie showed up, because not only do they want to fight her, but Tommie also ended up showing up with Ciroc, the woman who attacked Biggie at the club the night before. So Tommie is on stage without a care in the world, and she's on the microphone rehearsing, and Lex is on another microphone, and she keeps interrupting Tommie's performance because at the end of the day, she has a problem with Tommie. She wants to fight her. They still have unfinished business from when Tommie threw glass in Lex's face, and Lex was never able to get at her after that, so that's the reason why Lex is going off. Tommie was acting like she did not have a care in the world. She lifted up her shirt, she pulled her pants down a little bit, and she was just performing on stage just like that. I'm like, Tommie is crazy. I don't know if she was drunk or what, but her confidence is there because she had her pants down, her shirt lifted up, doing her rehearsal while a bunch of girls are yelling at her because they want to fight her. And after Tommie's rehearsal, she ends up calling in Ciroc on the microphone. So now all the baddies are on 10 because they know that Ciroc is the person who attacked Biggie, because some of the fans that were at the club that night recorded the fight where Biggie was getting attacked and they saw that it was Ciroc. So Ciroc ends up walking in, and obviously the baddies are on a 10, and Tommie gets on the microphone and she says that she doesn't know what the issue is, and she knows exactly what the issue is. Tommie just plays dumb sometimes, just like in last week's episode she was trying to say that she didn't know who Ciroc was and that she did not get Ciroc to attack Biggie, but then in this episode she shows up with Ciroc to the rehearsal. The baddies have a problem with Tommie because this is not the first time that she's brought outsiders to attack them, and they're tired of being attacked by people who are not even on the show. So Mariah Lynn starts going off when she sees Ciroc. I don't understand why Mariah Lynn wanted to fight Ciroc, because Ciroc is a lot bigger than Mariah Lynn. Like, I'm sorry, Mariah looks like a little mouse standing next to Ciroc, but she wanted to fight Ciroc because at the end of the day she has a friendship with Biggie, and Biggie was attacked by her. But for some reason Tommie ended up getting on the microphone and she calls out Mariah Lynn for a fight, and I thought that was kind of funny because Lex is standing right there saying that she wants to fight you, and yet she calls out Mariah Lynn, who's a lot smaller than her. So I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I understand why Tommie really didn't want to go head up with Lex, because she knows that Lex can do some damage and she doesn't want to get into a physical fight with her. So I get it, but I think that people would have called that out as scary if it was anybody else other than Tommie. But the baddies are sitting over there going back and forth with Tommie and Ciroc, and Killa is over it, okay? She feels like they're doing too much talking and she wants some action, so she steps up to fight Ciroc. And look, I'm with Killa on that. There was too much talking going on. We don't need to go back and forth with why you want to fight Ciroc. Just get out there and do it. And so I respect Killa because Ciroc is a lot bigger than her and she still got out there to fight her. So Ciroc and Cold Killa start swinging on each other, and all of a sudden all the other baddies run forward towards Ciroc, and Ciroc is kind of backed into a corner, and security is there to break it up. I don't think they were able to touch Ciroc that much, but she definitely did get jumped. And look, I know everybody likes Tommie, but I feel like Tommie brought Ciroc with her to rehearsals on purpose because she knows that she was public enemy #1, and she knew that if she brought Ciroc, that would take the attention off her and everybody would be on Ciroc, because where was Tommie when Ciroc was getting jumped? I mean, I know the two of them couldn't take all of those baddies by themselves, but why bring Ciroc just to let her fight by herself? And while this is happening, Lex is on stage with Tommie trying to fight her, okay? Lex is trying to get to Tommie, but security would not let her do it. Now, there was a point where Tommie was not being covered by security, and so Tavy reaches over and she takes a swing at Tommie. I don't know if she connected the hit, but she definitely took a swing at her. And Lex runs over there, right? She gets snatched up by security, but not before she's able to grab onto Tommie. Now, she's swinging on Tommie. Tommie's head's down, but even though Tommie's head's down, she's holding a microphone in her hand and she's using the microphone to try to swing it at Lex. This wasn't really a fight to me though, because security was holding both of them. They were still swinging on each other, but it wasn't an actual head-up fight. Now, Tommie and Ciroc go outside for a second and then they come back in, and Lex is ready to fight Ciroc. Now, Ciroc is a big girl. She is not small at all, and Lex still fought her anyway. Lex is tall, but she's not big. Like, she's skinny. And I'll say this, I would have rather saw Tasiki and Ciroc fight each other than Lex and Ciroc fight each other. I thought that that would have been a better matchup, but Lex and Ciroc fight this first round with each other, and look, Ciroc didn't do that bad in this first round. She was swinging, but if you watch it in slow motion, her hits were not connecting to Lex, whereas when Lex was swinging, she was connecting. She didn't connect all of her hits, but she connected a lot more than Ciroc did. And yes, at one point, Lex did grab onto Ciroc's braids, but I don't think that that really mattered. At the end of the day, I still think Ciroc was going to lose the fight, whether Lex did that or not. And I feel like people pick and choose when they want to complain about hair pulling, because when it's somebody that you like that's pulling hair in a fight, then people will say there's no rules to fighting. But now it's Lex that pulled somebody's hair in a fight, so now people want to say that the only reason why she won is because she pulled hair. No, she would have won whether she pulled that girl's hair or not. But like I said, I don't think Ciroc did that bad in the first round. I don't think Lex whooped her the first round, but the second round, Lex definitely did whoop Ciroc. Ciroc was swimming the minute they started swinging on each other, so Lex definitely got her the second round. And I mean, Lex won the first round too, but people want to discount it because she pulled the girl's hair. Look, Lex must have really been hitting Ciroc hard, because her face was kind of swollen a little bit after that fight, and she was bleeding too above her eyes. And honestly, I feel like the ass whooping that Lex gave to Ciroc was actually meant for Tommie, but because security wouldn't let her get to Tommie, she was able to do that to Ciroc instead. Like, yes, Lex had a problem with Ciroc because she put her hands on Biggie, but her real issue was with Tommie. And this is probably why Tommie brought Ciroc in the first place, because she didn't want to be the one with the swollen face, so she let Ciroc take the fall. But hey, Tommie was smart. She brought somebody else in to do her dirty work, and the girl got beat up for it. I think the baddies did what they needed to do. They needed to stick together. Even though they have problems with each other, they still need to stick together when it's an outsider coming in and putting their hands on one of the baddies. And so I think they did exactly what needed to be done. This is what they need to do whenever it's an outsider. The way that Tommie was pissed off at Ciroc when she lost the fight to Lex was so funny to me. Like, Tommie was visibly upset and pissed off, storming off and everything, because she thought that she was going to bring this big bitch Ciroc in to fight Lex and all these other girls that wanted to fight her, and she ended up getting whooped, and Tommie was mad. This is probably why Tommie dropped Ciroc right after this situation, because they stopped being cool with each other right after this. Like, Ciroc went online right after this situation, probably the next day or two, and said that Tommie dropped her and they weren't cool anymore. Now, after the fight was broken up, Lex is walking away because obviously she doesn't want to fight Ciroc again. She already beat her twice. There's no point in continuing to keep going, but Ciroc tried to run up and sneak Lex, and Natalie was on the microphone and she told Lex to turn around. She turns around and there's Ciroc, and all of a sudden Cold Killer just runs up out of nowhere and she snatches up Ciroc from behind and she starts whooping her real quick. I'm not gonna lie, this episode was actually really entertaining to me. I'm glad that they made this the season finale because it was entertaining. Now, Tommie and Mariah Lynn start going back and forth with each other, and then all of a sudden the two of them start fighting, and honestly, to me, this wasn't a fight. Neither one of them really did anything. Tommie was overpowering Mariah Lynn, but they were just holding on to each other. They weren't really fighting, and Anna ended up jumping in the fight anyway, which wasn't really necessary because to me, neither one of them were really doing anything, and the fight barely lasted a minute, so I don't think it was necessary for Anna to jump in, but we know that that's a pattern with her. She's gonna jump in whenever her friends are fighting. But then Smiley is trying to have a conversation with Tommie. She's telling Tommie that she likes her, but she doesn't agree with her bringing outsiders to put their hands on the baddies, and Tommie feels some type of way about this. So she gets up, she walks down the stairs, and she takes a swing at Smiley, and the two of them start fighting. This wasn't really a fight either. To me, they fight the same way. Neither one of them were whooping the other, so I feel like this was an even fight. But I still think that it's funny that Cold Killer and Lex wanted to fight Tommie, but Tommie wasn't willing to get up and go head up with them, but then she fought Mariah Lynn and Smiley, two people that she knows can't fight, and that's probably the reason why she chose to fight them. Look, I'm not necessarily mad at Tommie for not wanting to fight Big Lex because she saw how Ciroc's face got swollen and beat up, and that's the reason why she didn't want to fight her in the first place. Now, after all of this fighting go on, Tommie and Ciroc end up leaving, and all the girls finish up their rehearsals, and later that night they end up going to do their final performances where the baddies end up giving their final thoughts on the season. We know that Anna said that this was her last season, that she was not coming back. I don't really believe her. I think she'll take a few seasons off, but I don't think she'll be completely done with the show for good. She might be, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I see fans going back and forth about who they think made this season entertaining, and to me, I feel like Dolly, Summer, and Lex, and then Tommie gets an honorable mention. But if I'm gonna pick one, I feel like people were saying, oh, Summer made the season, but to me, Summer didn't make the season. Summer was not that entertaining this season as she's been in past seasons. I feel like Dolly was a little bit more entertaining than Summer this season. But one last thing happened in this episode. Tommie was on stage finishing up her performance, and Cold Killer threw something at Tommie because obviously she didn't get to fight her like she wanted to, and so Tommie picked something up, and I think she throws it at the crowd, and I think that was crazy. Like, did she throw it at the crowd? Because it looked like she hit somebody in the crowd with whatever it was that she threw, and that's crazy if she did, because right after that, that's when Zeus ended up getting up out of there. All the fans had to leave. It was time to go. I don't think this was the most entertaining season, but it definitely had a lot of entertaining moments in it, so I didn't think that it was a bad one. I'll give this season season 7. So those are my thoughts on the season finale of Baddies USA Chapter 1. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode and this season as a whole down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.